I try and sound equal parts motherly and kind of menacing here.
I'll play good cop. Yeah, you know, I just need your statement. Just give me any information you can, and then I will see about getting this fixed.
The statement, I don't think that's going to help you much, Miss Knight. It was Detective Hoop.
Detective Hoop asked you to step out for a minute.
That's right. He told me that he was there to meet... He was going to be meeting with Joey, and that I had to get Joey alone someplace, and then... And when I saw Hoop arrive through the front door, I made myself busy elsewhere.
Just as a long shot, do you happen to know who Hoop might have been doing this business on behalf of?
I didn't ask. All I know is he came in on the same day you did and paid me off pretty well. I think that's why I was so nervous when you came to speak with me before. That's when I knew I've got to get out of the city.
I think you better have.
He told me the cops wouldn't give me any trouble.
A word of advice in your future endeavors. Whenever you get caught up in something like this, you're always going to be the weak link, which is why you're getting out of town now. Wherever you go, make sure not to get caught up in this sort of thing. Do what your sister says. You're not cut out for this.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, Miss Ball. You're right. I'm thinking of becoming a teacher, or I know, for kids, little kids, something where I'm out of trouble.
That's a good girl.
She nods. I'm so sorry.
It's not your fault. It's just the game.
So armed with this information as you are, well, Detective Hoop, what game is he playing? Seems almost guaranteed that he's the trigger man that Farquhar was looking for. But who was Hoop working for?
So when we get a moment away from Sandy, I'll look to Charity. So I caught up with the chief of police, and he warned me off of this case to stop looking into it. He talked about the debt he owes to the Balls and how, well, I don't think you need to quite get into that, and with the tugging and the just pressing. It's a lot.
I'm aware of how the Balls operate.
You are a businesswoman after all.
It makes the most sense to me that if the cops are involved, I haven't heard a word about them being in bed with the Italians. So I suspect my brother is behind this, and it would certainly be the most convenient to me. I'd like to make a connection with the Italians anyway. But do you think it's the truth?
It's hard to say. There's so many different ways it could be spun. For all we know, it could have been Cyril that pulled the trigger. But if he's not the type to do that sort of legwork, maybe we can get the information from Hoop.
I would suggest if we walk in accusing him of something, it might go real bad. We might want some backup. And personally, I would love to hand Cyril over to my brand new friends. And Hoop. They really want the trigger man, but if we can hand Hoop and Cyril over to them, I think I'm a very happy businesswoman. But you seem like more of a clean sort.
I try to be, but this sort of thing unless we can get rid of all of the dirty cops and all of the dirty judges. I don't think we're going to be able to get Leo out. It's like, it breaks my heart that poor, sweet, trusting idiot out there is going to be sobbing over his brother.
Well, here's what I would suggest. If we take out Cyril, the cops want to be in someone's pocket. Might as well be the Italians. Maybe the Italians will, in consideration for our new relationship, spring a poor sap out of jail.
What about your pocket?
Mine?
They're already in a ball's pocket. Why not yours?
There's an idea. I think I'm still small enough, I'm a very small ball, that I'll still want a partner. You know, if you're too close to the top of the pyramid, people want to cut your head off. But if I could be, say, under Stewart, I think I would enjoy that.
So, what I'm thinking is that I take Hoop up on his offer. He wanted me to go see Nigel. And Nigel said something about Hoop talking too much. So maybe I can convince Hoop to meet up with me and we can reminisce over old times and get him plastered. And then we can see if it'll loosen him up.
That should be pretty easy. Hoop is an inveterate drinker. He will certainly drink his weight if you allow it. And if you pay for the drinks, he will drink them quickly.
Perhaps I could get in contact with Stewart and get a couple of low-level guys to sort of be plants around, see if he can, if they can overhear to their satisfaction that he was the trigger man. Prove it to the Italians, and we can grab him, or at least confirm to Stewart, who can do whatever he wants with that information.
Would you be willing, Charity, to throw a private party?
I'm very good at private parties. I'd be happy to. But I do want to make sure that whoever is in attendance, if Hoop thinks he's being set up, he might not appreciate it. He might walk the other way. I can't strong arm him into having a good time. But I can get some girls. I can get, the typical clientele. Like, just say they're some of my favorite clientele. Get a good mix of people, and we can have a little party.
Maybe get Hoop back into a special room, and then we can try to get some work done.
All right. So, by the time the three of you leave the Flange household, it is nightfall. You can reach out to Hoop this evening, or the following one, but you know that time is of the essence and Leo doesn't have long left alive in prison. So, tonight is probably better. Hoop, being off shift, is contactable. He has a home phone. He takes a while to answer. He's already half gone. Half in the bag, as they say. But at the sound of a private party being held, and he says over the phone to you, Stormy, what? What, for me, or what, for the department?
Mrs. Ball said that she wanted to treat some of her favorite guests to a special party. And
Why are you the go-between?
Well, she saw me with you, and I was talking with her.
I knew you was... No, I'm not saying you were gonna become a sex worker or nothing, but I knew that you were gonna become muscle for some gangster or other. I just didn't think it'd be for Charity Ball.
She's got
so
a body
she's got
that
you
needs,
running errands.
Needs protecting.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you thinking of me.
Oh, you don't want to
Night,
come? I might have to.
I'll come. Listen,
Well,
I just need
that's
to...
the hope, right?
Listen, I just need to get some cold water on my face, change my pants, and I'll be there. So I guess I will see you. Maybe not like that. Not unless you want to.
We'll see where the night takes us.
I guess we will. And a happy-sounding hoop hangs up. Benny, while this potential orgy of the damned is anticipated, what's your plan for the night? Are you just going to watch from the wardrobe, or...
I'm shocked that you would think Benny was like that.
He'll dangle from the rafters.
No, Benny, despite all of his many, many flaws, he is not a coward. He will throw himself wholeheartedly into anything. He does not give up. So he wants to be there when the person responsible for his brother's incarceration and imminent execution is caught red-handed. So no, he wants to be there, especially because if something goes down, he's going to be there ready for the fight. He will go out fighting. He's got the resolve.
I love the idea that Benny gets himself all worked up. He's all ready to be there for the fight, and then Eddie Nesbitt, one of Charity's heavies, takes you off to one side and says, "Wait outside."
Yeah, geez, sure. Okay.
Just like his brother.
I think I'm going to try and sneak my way in. He might act the coward, but no, I'm not missing this.
Go for larceny and dexterity, or larceny and cunning.
Just let them watch. I can't bail all the time.
And tell us how you roll. Remember, you've got your bonus dice as well.
Benny isn't quite the failure I hoped he was going to be, because I've just got 2 successes.
Well, that means you're able to sneak in through the service entrance of the Whip It In.
Yeah, Benny, the back door, that man.
Yeah. It's a dank and nasty way to enter this establishment, but sometimes it's the only avenue open. And in Benny's case, you feel strangely comfortable using this route. You just hope this is the right way to find Hoop. From the kitchens, you can observe everything that's going on. So Detective Hoop turned up and is now schmoozing with Stormy. So when are the rest of the regulars getting here?
Can I pipe up and say I would really appreciate if I instructed my doormen to disarm everybody as they walk in. Like, this is not unless it'll really and just sort of, you guys understand somebody got shot.
Most of the patrons showing up are fine with it. Hoop is most certainly not. "Hey, what you doing, Eddie?" "The lady demanded everyone disarm." "Not me, I'm a police officer. I always keep it on me." Eddie looks over to you, Charity, with a sort of, well...
Take an extra drink, then. And I go over and get him another one.
Listen, and Hoop goes over to Charity. I don't mean to be difficult, but there's always someone wanting to take out an honest cop. I've got to, and he pats his side. Gotta stay prepared.
I would like to be a little bit friendlier with Hoop than I have been. And I would like to use my trope of booby trap to be up close and personal with him to take his gun.
Oh, without his notice.
Well, hopefully he'll be distracted by other things, but yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I believe the trope just has a flat effect, doesn't it?
Once per session, if searched or romantically entangled, you can automatically pickpocket or grapple your victim, causing them a moderate complication to any subsequent action.
I think that's fair. Then you have taken away his primary firearm. He has a moderate complication because he has a tiny little pissy gun in his ankle holster, which is unlikely to do many people much damage, but you never know. And he would also have to pull it out from underneath his sock and go through all of that. So hence the moderate complication. But he doesn't miss the absence of his revolver as he dances a little with Stormy. Why, Detective Knight, I never knew you cared so much. Your hand's inside my jacket. I wish I'd changed my shirt now.
It's fine. You won't be wearing it for much longer.
You are more than just a bodyguard in this place. I knew it. You always had a wild side. Knight. Oh, we could get up to some fun stuff, and I don't just mean here. Look, I've got business propositions for someone. I always thought you were, I gotta say, the chief, he said you were too straight-laced. He said you were never gonna get in on any of the, the good stuff. But I don't know, I told him.
I just needed someone to help loosen the laces.
He slicks back his hair with a greasy hand. As patrons are being led off to their rooms by various workers at the establishment, Charity, Stormy, you can more or less get Hoop between you, Benny looking on, within easy reach. You can charge in if you need. But the question is, what are you planning on asking him or doing to him? In theory, you have him where you want him.
I think I'd like to use pillow talk, which is something where I can find out a single critical fact they know, as long as I'm having sort of an intimate conversation with him.
So you lead him away. We fade to black. And 2.5 minutes later, Benny, you have lost sight of Charity and Hoop. Stormy, entirely up to you whether you were present for that scene. But right now he's laying down, his head on a silk pillow, cigarette hanging from between his lips. Wow, I'm bushed.
It's been a good night for you.
It's only just begun. Give me 2 hours, I'll be back on the horse. I'm not calling you a horse, Miss Ball.
Well, you better not. Now, I do want to know one thing. Just one little thing.
One thing. Okay, one thing. He lights his cigarette on yours and draws away again to give it a puff. One little thing.
Did you kill Tight Shoes?
The cigarette drops from his lips. The smouldering starts on the pillow. He bats it out frantically, puts the cigarettes back in his lips, tries to maintain composure, look cool, but he's clearly worried. How did you, He doesn't answer emphatically. It's his reaction that tells you everything you need. You have the answer right there. Yes, he killed Tight Shoes. Now you can continue probing Hoop. If you want.
Sure.
If that's not enough.
Is that, now, I understand you probably didn't have anything against the kid. He didn't do anything in this city. But someone must have had something against him, right? Who was the favor for?
He takes a long drag on the cigarette, sits up a little, now looks quite abashed and diminished in front of Stormy Night, who stands there in the doorway, aware of the shrinking penis between his legs. He pulls the sheet up. I suddenly feel very naked. Listen, it was just a bad day for Joey.
Barey.
He looks to Stormy, he looks to Charity. He says it loud enough for Benny to hear, who's been creeping around in the walls. I did it because I was paid to do it. Simple as that. I was told, get in touch with one of your Italian friends. He almost definitely says a slur there, which we won't repeat for the sake of the recording. Get him somewhere where there's people who will find him, put a bullet or two into him with this gun, and make a getaway. Make it look like the Irish did it.
But the Irish didn't do it. Who did?
Listen, I really shouldn't be saying any of this. I'm telling you because you're friends of mine, right? Right?
Oh, of course we're friends. And I'm gonna could you look through our friend here's socks and get his gun, right?
What? No. He reaches. He tries to grab his socks. Stormy, you're going to need to do a dexterity and athletics, or dexterity or might in close combat, depending on how you want to prevent him from getting to his sock gun. Basically, you're kicking his hand away, you're kicking the gun away, you're grabbing it. You make the pairing of dice pools you see fit.
She needs to be fast, so she's going to kick it away. Let's see if the dice will be kind to me.
No, you've still got something like 3 rewrites, I think. So you can always add.
And I used my quip earlier, too.
You did use a quip. If you can think of one that's appropriate now as well, you could utter it or have it as an internal monologue.
Here we are. Seems you've been double-crossing so much you've come full circle.
That's very appropriate.
Yeah. Alright. So I only got 1 success.
1 success is all you need. That's why the difficulties are 8s. You kick the gun away into Benny's part, the little compartment. It slides underneath the wall to where Benny is, behind the shutters.
Benny's gonna pick it up. Oh, jeez.
You now have a derringer, a sock-smelling derringer in your hands. Listen, I don't know what you dames are trying to pull here.
You did business in my establishment, and I understand. I'm a businesswoman. But if somebody is going to shoot one of my patrons and frame my dear sweet brother, I need to know who. Because you've seen how empty my halls have been, and I don't like it when my halls are empty.
Listen, it is. That's what it is. It's just business. These things happen. People get crossed. People get upset. But in the end, everything evens out. Listen, Knight, you and I, we can be partners again. We can work on these things together. And Miss Ball, I'm sorry we got blood all over the walls in your place, but I
just need the information.
It's more than my life is worth.
I think on that point, Benny's going to step out from his hiding place. Derringer held aloft.
What the
This man's brother has had a murder pinned on him, and I don't know what he's going to do. But he might be a little less crazy if he knows who's really to blame. Right?
I don't want to do this, but you're burning up goodwill like you just needed to survive the winter. I'll do it, damn it. My little brother, he's not going to the chair for you. Now you need to go and you need to make this right. You need to do something good.
He has his hands up now. He stands up. He is bare bollock naked.
Can I invoke a cinematic here?
Yeah, maybe. Which cinematic are you thinking?
I'm thinking the blues interlude, which is 3.
Oh yes.
3 rewrites, which we have 3 left.
Yeah.
And the blues interlude, as all of the smooth blues music starts playing in the background and everyone starts getting into the groove of it, it ramps up any effects of emotional manipulation that we might be doing.
Oh, very nice. So characters will start crying. There'll be anguished clenching of fists and gnashing of teeth.
Exactly. I wanted to feel guilty for my brother's impending execution, and feel scared.
I'm sorry. I've not always been dirty. I've not always been crooked. I try to go straight. Saxophone plays. Yeah, there's no way out in this town. You can't be an honest cop. I tried, Knight. I really tried. Clarinets now. Listen, I feel for your brother. I really do, but I've got a wife myself. I got... And that's very difficult to elicit sympathy given that he spends most of his time in a brothel. Fine.
You got 2 ways out of this. You go and make this right, or you go out in a box.
I've been in so many boxes in this place. I'll come clean.
For once in your dirty life.
I mean, I'm not on any antibiotics, so I may not come clean, but I'll certainly give it a good college try.
I will lower my gun.
I'm gonna tap that thing back up.
Oh, okay, fair enough. I just realised that this whole confrontation has happened while this man's been in the nude, and I should point out for our viewers that there would have been like a statue obscuring his genitalia this whole time. Probably some like Cupid playing a trumpet with the trumpet like sometimes pointing upwards, sometimes pointing downwards. A bit of a continuity error, but
a very floppy bugle.
Say to Benny, if you can't keep that thing up, hand it to me.
Oh, geez. Yeah, you take this.
Yeah, so I'm gonna keep this gun trained on this guy the entire time. He's a bigger guy than me. I'm not gonna.
Chief, it's the chief. O'Donoghue. It's Nigel. And he looks to Knight again.
What about Nigel? Is he the one that did this?
Listen, at first he was I just thought he was trying to whack a kid that had something on him or something like that, but then we got drinking after the job was done. That's when he started telling me, and I didn't mean for any of this to be as big and as political as it is. But that's what it is. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than the 3 of you. Nigel's been under the heel of the balls for a decade. And when you've been on the balls for that long, it gets prickly. He always had this debt over his head. and he never felt like he could repay it. But at the same time, that meant they could get him to do absolutely anything. He didn't feel like he could do anything about the balls, but he knew the Italians would. But the only way to turn the Italians on them was if the Italians were made to think that the balls were out to get them. So he set this up. I thought that I was just knocking off some greasy gangster. I didn't know that this Tight Shoes was Michael Portillo's favorite. I didn't know that the Irish would start taking it so personal like you are, Miss Ball, no offense. And I didn't know the Italians would start thinking, well, the balls are involved, we gotta go to war over something like this. I didn't know. I just thought this was a simple button job.
Oh, jeez, there's a lot of balls flying around here. I'm having trouble keeping up. You guys getting all this?
Well, there's only one ball left. The other one has dropped.
I'm still here.
But you're not involved with this man. Well,
you're an ersatz ball.
That's right.
But now that I've told you, can I get my clothes on, please? I'm feeling the chill.
Yeah, it shows.
I think I'm just gonna grab his clothes, and if this is a room that can lock, I'm gonna bring you guys out. And do you think? Well, I guess we can't. You've kind of broken through the wall here, Benny. It's not a secure location.
Actually, I've got something in my bag that's a great fix for that. It's this really quite sticky tape that will hold this wall together. It's only $1.99 a roll, but for you, I'll just fix that right up.
As you stand outside and discuss who's going to cover the cost of fixing the wall, leaving Detective Hoop inside the sex room to think about his life choices and get dressed, you hear a blam from inside.
Oh, jeez, what was that?
I'm opening up the door and having a look.
Due to either a continuity error or an incredibly well-secreted pistol, somehow, Detective Hoop has blown his brains out.
God damn it.
Well, here's the good news, Charity, Stormy, and Benny. You said you were inviting some low-level hoods from the Italians, some people who could be trusted, at least, to overhear this. And so in the adjacent rooms, while they were supposed to be having their end away with some of your girls, as soon as the gunshot goes off, out they emerge. One of them with lipstick all over his face, the other one pulling his pants up. "We heard everything!" That's right, yeah. We just were I was writing down notes, that's why I didn't come out straight away. Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna need a meeting with my brother and Mr. Farquhar as soon as possible.
Well, they nod. They run off to notify the boss of what has taken place here. Now, as we approach the end of our session, and the revelation now having come to light of who was behind this murder, who set up Leo McGlick, we can fit in a handful of more scenes for everyone to resolve their personal business. Let's start with Charity. Charity, you want to meet with... which one would you like to meet up with more? Farquhar or Cyril, or both at the same time?
I want Farquhar.
You got me out of bed. But for you, that hardly feels like a sacrifice. So, I hear the news. Some dirty cop killed Joey. Wasn't the Irish at all.
Mm-mm.
But there's still a bill that's got to be paid.
That's right. So it wasn't my brother-in-law as much as I would prefer it be. But the man did threaten me. I don't like being threatened. So I'm thinking maybe I could make a new business connection.
I think that could be very desirable. But I gotta ask a favor from you.
I am in the business of favors.
So I understand. This button man, he's dead. Boo-hoo. So long. But this chief, he's protected. You can't get close to him. Not unless it's someone he trusts. He's gotta pay the price. He can't just remain walking. Michael Peltillo won't allow it. And again, this McGlick kid, he's on borrowed time. This Donahue, you're friends with, I understand, Stormy Knight, detective, straight arrow, straight shooter, dead shot. I need you to get her with him. Go for a walk in the park or the harbor, somewhere nice. Tell us the route beforehand. She doesn't have to make the pop herself. Heaven forbid I make a straight cop go dirty. But she can get him alone, because he trusts her. And when he's alone... Rifleman on a roof, from a tree, from an ice cream truck, I don't care. Takes the shot, bam, down he goes. Debt paid, you and I, we go into business. What happens to Cyril after that? Well, we'll have to see, won't we?
The problem with Miss Knight is the same thing that made her leave the force was the reason why I'm not sure she'll take that walk. She has an innate sense of justice, and maybe killing a man in cold blood will violate that justice. But on the other hand, if I can convince her that this is her best shot at seeing a murderer taken down, maybe she'll go for it.
He leans across his table towards you, his face nearly touching yours. He's so close you can feel his breath on your neck. But the thing is, Charity, we don't have that sense of justice.
I'm sure you don't.
Do you?
Oh, no, I'm a businesswoman.
You tell your friend that they're just taking a walk, that she has to find the truth from him. Don't tell her nothing about him getting whacked. And then when she tells you, act surprised.
I can do that.
Good girl. Sorry, you're a good woman.
I can be your good girl. But maybe after we've made an arrangement, alright?
Alright, so... Stormy, do you take this bait? Do you want your last scene to be your walk with Chief Donahue?
Yeah, I think she recognizes that. Even though they've been close for a very long time, he's been doing some very abhorrent things, and he doesn't seem to want to stop. And it just seems to be getting worse. And I just wish he would retire and just walk away from it, but it sounds like he's only getting in deeper. Like, there's so many ways he could have possibly gotten away from the balls, but he just couldn't step away from them, so... And it just made a mess. So, with a little bit of convincing from Charity, she'll invite him out for a walk.
I understand you were nearby when Hoop took his life. Is that right?
Yeah, it was just... Oh, it was awful. I don't know why. Everything seemed to be going okay. I just don't know what to do, Nigel. Like, we were just reconciling.
You were partners, weren't you?
Yes.
Number of times you tried to write him up and I had to shred those reports. It didn't feel good to do it, Stormy.
I just wanted him to get right, and just... He had so much potential to be a great cop, and it just... To go out like that, it's just...
You walk along the harbour front, and boats bobbing in the water, rocking side to side as the tide laps in and out. Some cops, when they get this dirty, doesn't matter how hard they try, they can never clean it off. There's no penance they can pay to ever extricate themselves. So many try, you know. You get dirty, eventually you think, no, I'll make good now. I'll make up for it, but it's not possible. Once you're in deep like that, it crushes you. Wears you down till there's nothing left.
Is that how you're feeling right now? That there's nothing left? Or is that why you can't let go?
He was talking about Hoop, but as you say that, he has a moment of reflection. I suppose so. I've done lots of things I regret, and a lot of things I don't or won't regret. Things are how they are. They're not going to change. But I've been doing some thinking, Stormy. Maybe it's spending time with you, even brief as it is, seeing how you can live a straight life in a city like this. I need to do something, even if it's a token effort, even if it's too late for me to set things right. I need to try something. I need to bring some facts to light. Now, as he's saying that, Benny! In all this time, you have largely been pushed to the side. Everyone's involved in their business deals or getting Donahue to confess, and you know he's not going to. You know he's never going to turn himself in.
They're too deep involved, they can't extricate themselves.
And you saw, you were intending on heading to Stormy Nights, to a detective agency, to find out whether there was anything further she could do, and then you saw her walking with Chief O'Donoghue, walking away from her office, and for such a nervous man, you saw red. Anger, betrayal, feelings of resentment just filled you up.
There's only so far Benny can be pushed. It seems he's hit his limit. I'll follow them. I thought she was my friend. Now she's fraternizing with the enemy.
You can just hear up ahead Donahue saying, I'll do it. I'll make things right, Stormy. And I'm sorry I've put you through so much. You and every other cop who tried to do the right thing. And as he says this, and he puts his hand on Stormy's shoulder, there's a loud crack. It's almost simultaneous with the fountain of blood that jets from his temple, just as he turns to face Stormy. A shot from an ice cream truck just behind Benny, which starts pulling away with a jingle and jangle, and then speeds off down the road. What happens in montage as we approach our closing credits is suitably noir. Noirs don't have happy endings. There's always someone that ends up betrayed, someone who ends up on the wrong side of the law, someone who may come clean but other people who just get even more crooked. And while Charity and Farquhar can raise a glass to each other as she turns her business in with the Italians and they protect her gratis, as they might say, and a war does brew between Charity Ball and the Portillos versus Cyril Ball and his people, just as Donahue intended. Stormy is left holding the bleeding body of her chief, who died in an instant. Just at the moment he came clean, it was like he was delivered, like God chose that moment to pluck him up. You've done the right thing, my son, maybe, he thought. But that would require you to believe in God, and Stormy doesn't believe in much anymore. Because when the cops arrived to survey the scene, and they took witness statements, there was only one man seen nearby. One man who had enough time to dispose of a weapon. One man with maybe a grudge against Donahue. And that was Benny McGlick. So even though Leo McGlick is sprung from prison just like the Italians said he would be, he gets his freedom. On the run, but he's free. Benny is put behind bars for the murder of Chief Donahue. And Stormy's next case is clearing the name of Benny McGlick.
Oh, jeez.
Well, that is where we will end our session of Murder Served Hot. Now, they came from the mean streets, they came from the RPG Anthology. And I want to say thank you very much to my three players, to Kim, to MK, to Chris. Thank you so much for playing, and thank you so much, listeners, for listening. We truly appreciate it, and we truly appreciate any support you can give to this book that will be on Kickstarter. Any final thoughts from the players?
Whew. Wow. That was a lot of fun. Good job, Chris. That was a lot of fun. I'm sorry if you started taking a drink every time we said the word ball. Oh my gosh. It was like, oh no, this is totally what we're going to use for this. But I thought the swerve, the twist at the end where we had like a serious ending was actually kind of very genre, because we had a lot of fun with the innuendos and the goofiness, and there was a lot of depth and seriousness for as much as we were laughing, but I thought it was a good end. Thank you guys.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, I thought it worked very well from what I had pictured for this. It was great to see the characters and the archetypes realised, and I think especially fitting that Benny took the fall for it. And I think this is an important part. He did rise up and he kept his promise to his little brother. He got him out of jail. So he inadvertently succeeded for once. So, I'm going to take that for a win. I think that's Benny's optimism shining through me.
I think if that was the aspiration on your character sheet, then you would have gained the experience for it.
My aspiration was to make a sale, and those wimples did me...
Oh, yeah. They flew like hotcakes.
Yeah, Benny and Charity were awesome. That was a lot of fun, and I was like, "Oh shit, I got to play the straight man in this one."
And you kind of managed it.
And I feel like Charity Ball came out on top and is well on her way to snagging a fourth husband, which is her long-term aspiration.
Soon she will be charity fuckwad.
We did get to hold a charity, but well, I guess it wasn't a charity ball. It was a
charity orgy.
yeah, the small charity orgy.
I guess if the fuckwad is too much on the nose, you could always have a double-barreled surname, Ball Fuckwad.
God.
Well, on that happy note, thank you so much, Red Moon Role-Playing listeners, and thank you very much, Red Moon Role-Playing trio of Matthias, Hjalmar, and Craig for allowing us to host this on your channel. We love you, and take care.
You have listened to an episode of Red Moon Role-Playing, where we played Murder Served Hot for Onyx Path Publishing's They Came from the Mean Streets. You will find this and many other genres in the upcoming They Came from the RPG Anthology that is now on Kickstarter, and you can find a link to that in the show notes. Joining Matthew was Kim Godwin, MK, and Chris Jones. The music was made by Atrim Carceri, Godbody Disconnect, and City's Last Broadcast, and was used with permission from their label, Cryochamber. Check out their website at cryochamber.bandcamp.com or their YouTube channel for some moody dark ambient. We would like to give massive thanks to our champions of the Red Moon, Martin Heuschober, Nastasia Raulerson, Simon Cooper, David, Julia, Camilla, Bob Lange, Cameron, Antxon, Graham Barey, and Daniel for their generous support. And we would of course also like to thank all of our other patrons. Without your support, the show would not be possible. If you want to support our work, please check us out on Patreon. You can get access to bonus campaigns for Cult of Divinity Lost and Coriolis there, as well as get early and raw access to all of our recordings. You can also hear your name read on the show as a champion of the Red Moon, as well as play Cult with us. Most importantly, that support is what keeps the show going, so do check us out there. Thank you again for listening, and remember that dead men are heavier than broken hearts.